Hello, good day to you. Andy here and Talkin really. And this article, this story, was in Daily Record and it is about applying for the Personal Independence Payment, PIP, and gives a lot of useful tips. So the Daily Record article, which is tells you about what is PIP. Obviously, it's a benefit for people who need help with daily living and also getting around. It doesn't matter whether you've got long-term illness, disability or mental health condition. Many people are put off applying for it for a variety of reasons. Obviously, at this time when there's lockdown restrictions across the country, it's a good opportunity. I can't bother to put this tweet back in. They're running in for a dog. But it's a good opportunity to set aside some time and start the process. If the PIP claim form is completed in full, then you should be, it may not be as difficult as you expect, especially as face-to-face assessments are still suspended, although you will have to do one on the telephone at the moment. So, and of course they are talking about doing video, but that's not in yet. How much PIP will be paid? Well, it depends on how much you, how many points you get, and there are two sections. Obviously, there's the personal care side of it, and then there's the mobility. To get the top rate, you need 8 or more, and to get the bonus prize, the booby prize for the car, so you can apply for mobility car for the mobility section. You need 12 points, so 8 to 12, or for the top rate, and of course a good score of 12 for the car to get the bonus points. So this obviously the caring side of it. The caring side of it is about preparing an eating meal, washing and getting dressed, basic toilet needs, and moving around outside your home. So, who is eligible? Well, it's anybody over 16 under state pension. Obviously, if you are at that age, then you will get attendance allowance, which is different but similar. And you don't have to work or paid NI, national insurance, because there's two different types. Yes, so and also it doesn't matter what your income or how much you have in savings. Obviously, if you have savings, you may be affected with your other benefits, so it's not all swings and roundabouts. You must obviously have a health condition or disability which you have difficulties with daily living or getting around for at least 3 months. You expect these conditions to last for at least 9 months. So that's quite important. In Scotland, you need to have at least 2 of the last 3 years and be in country when you apply. How to apply? Well, you can start off by ringing 0800 917 2222. There is a text phone number as well, so you can ask for a paper form to fill in if you're unable to claim by phone, or this may delay your start of your application. So we come on to the most important part of this, which is the filling in the form. So if you're eligible, they will send you a claim form, and of course it's called How Your Disability Affects You. This is a multi-page form. I believe, if I remember rightly, it's 50 plus pages. Obviously that's 2 pages per question. 1 page with all the details and one page for you to fill in. So, you know, there are a lot of questions, a lot of pages, and it's telling them about your health condition and how it affects you in relation to 12 different daily activities. And this is your opportunity to explain how your condition impacts you. Along with the form, you need to provide any supporting information. You can consider this like medical staff, social worker, letters from your doctor, and also explaining how your condition affects you. Don't forget, send photocopies of this. Don't send the original because you won't get them back. And obviously keep a copy of your claim form, because quite often they lose them and you won't be able to remember what you wrote. Obviously next time as well, that when you come to renew it, it's a good idea to have a copy of it, because then you can refer back to what you said last time, because no doubt in the skeptical world of my mind, they will compare notes to see what you said. So if you said one thing one time, another thing completely different the other time, they will certainly pick that up. I have this feeling, I don't know it for sure, but just a little feeling. And so it's important you do this fairly quickly. There's a deadline to return the form. It's usually around about 1 month. And obviously, if you do not apply within this time period, your claim may end. And it's especially important that you do this if you're moving over from DLA. Make sure, as a little tip, that you send your application by recorded delivery. I do that. Unfortunately, the post office didn't deliver on time, and my money was stopped until I complained about it and said that the post office was at fault, and then they reinstated it. But it was a lot of hassle, because they actually told everybody that I had no more claim, and everything else stopped as well, which is very, very annoying. Very important, this is a bit which is how your claim for PIP is assessed. They look at 12 activities. So daily living, we have preparing or eating food, washing, bathing and using the toilet, dressing and undressing, reading and communicating, managing your medicines and treatments, mixing with other people, making decisions about money. And then obviously the mobility, a bit of it, which is quite small, is planning and following a journey and physically moving around outside. For each activity, there's a list of descriptions of how your condition affects you. Each of them has a score, which added up to a single total for daily living and one for mobility. For each category, if you score over 8 and below 11, you'll get the standard rate, and if you score over 12, you get a bonus prize, enhanced rate. For somebody could get standard rate mobility and enhanced rate daily living, or vice versa. Remember, you need the enhanced rate mobility for the car. What are the PIP rates? Well, you've got standard rate daily living, 59.70, enhanced rate 89.15. Mobility section is standard rate 23.60, enhanced rate 62.25, and this is per week, depending on your circumstances. So let's have a look at the types of questions that you're going to get. An overview of the questions, right? So list your health professionals. You need to give them any details about anybody you're seeing or you have seen in relation to your health conditions. And then question 2 is list your conditions, medications and treatments. So this is quite easy to do. Be as descriptive as you can, because to be honest with you, they won't have a clue what it is. You need to actually tell them. It's no good just saying, oh, I've got anxiety. You need to go into detail about that and how it affects you. Question 3, preparing and cooking a meal. There is a question about how your condition makes it difficult for you to prepare a simple cooked meal, and one from scratch. Yes, so it does not mean a microwave meal. This doesn't count. So if that's all you can do, then you should be given quite a lot of points. Obviously, you can use a microwave to heat it up, but the actual meal itself, I was told, is not a microwave meal. So it's actually cooking using fresh ingredients, cooking it itself. Question 4 is eating and drinking. So this tells you how it's difficult to eat and drink. And this obviously means being able to cut up food and put it in your mouth, chew it and swallow it. Obviously, if you need prompting or reminding to eat, as well as if you have physical difficulties actually doing that, and you need help to be fed. Question 5, managing treatments. So this is about how you manage your treatments, how you manage your own health, and including your mental health, and you take action to stop your condition from getting worse. This also includes taking medication, I believe. So obviously, you've listed them up above, So can you remember to actually take them? And obviously, if you forget, then this could be detrimental to your health. So put that down. Question 6, washing and bathing. Now, this is about how difficult it is for you to wash or bathe in a standard bath or shower that hasn't been adapted in any way. It's also about whether you use aids or appliances to help you do that. You might have a seat that goes up and down, or you might have grab rails around your bath or shower, or you might have a seat that you can sit on in the shower. Question 7 is managing your toilet needs. So this is about how difficult it is for you to get one on and off the toilet, cleaning yourself up, and if applicable, managing incontinence. So obviously being able to wash yourself and also put on and take off your pads, for example. Question 8, dressing and undressing. So this is for your chance for you to describe how difficult it is for you to put on your clothes, take them off, and obviously this is taking off unmodified appropriate clothes, including shoes and socks. And socks obviously is something that you can have, you need to put in there, that if you do, you have an adaptation that you use, then obviously this is quite useful to specify. Now, appropriate clothes are things like if it's inclement weather for the occasion, so it's no good wearing party clothes to an interview, a very short dress if you're a bloke, unless that's the way you feel, that's fine. It's no good wearing shorts at midnight in 4-foot deep snow, for example. Question 9, communicating. Oh my God, I can't even do that myself. I'll do that one again, shall I? Communicating verbally. So this is about speaking to others so that you're understood, which is quite difficult sometimes. Hearing and understanding what other people are saying to you. And of course, this is about whether you can comprehend as well, whether you need help with that. Question 10, reading. This is about how difficult it is for you to read information. So standard size text. And reading signs, for example, such as emergency exit signs, reading indoors and outdoors. Question 11, mixing with other people. This is quite difficult if you're autistic. For example, you might find it very challenging to go and meet and mix. So you need to put this down, judging situations, and also if you're suffering from depression, anxiety, obviously you may find that this is quite difficult in order to go out, but judging situations when you're with other people, and obviously your behaviour, behaving inappropriate or appropriately, as it were, depending on the situation. Establishing relationship with people, for example, making friends. Are you able to go out to various groups and clubs and places and actually make friends with people? Moving on, we're going to move on to question 12. Making decisions about money. So this means that we're talking about how you make everyday purchases in the shop, for example, in shops and restaurants, how you budget for and pay your bills. Can you do that? Can you budget, set aside money? Budgeting for things that you need to save up for, which would be quite difficult if you're on benefits anyway, but it's quite important. Question 13, we have going out. Do you go out? Can you actually plan a route and say, right, I want to get to from A to B? Doesn't matter how you get there, whether it's by bus, taxi, car, walking, train, but it's just being able to plan a route and actually get from A to B. Can you plan and follow a bus route or train route to the place that you don't know? So you want to go to London, you've never been there before. Can you actually plan the journey? And when you get there, can you cope with it? Can you cope with getting around? Can you, do you have suddenly a panic attack? Put all of this down because it's very, very important. It is quite important to specify this. And of course, if you want to leave the house, can you leave the house because of stress or anxiety? Is it possible that you can leave the house? Question 14 we have is it's about how difficult it is for you to stand safely. So no help, no aids, just standing up and waiting, for example, maybe waiting in a queue. And then walking safely without stopping and without help. How difficult is that? Obviously, bearing in mind that there are limits on the amount of length of walking that you can do, which will also affect the rate that you'll get. And it currently is 20 meters for the enhanced rate, and it will give you a lot of points. So bear that in mind. 50 meters is the second rate. Now, at the very back, you'll find that there is a blank page, and if you run out of space, you can use normal A4 paper and just write on it. In fact, it's probably very good if you can plan this out before you fill it in. So don't fill the form in. Write it all out on separate paper, because you'll only get the one form probably, and obviously if you try and get another form, it's going to delay your application. So I do recommend that you get help with this. Write it all down before you fill in the form and make sure that you have everything covered. Now, the best thing is that you try and get somebody to help you do it. And it's also, you need to specify on the form if there is somebody that's helped you do it, and explain why they've helped you do it. You filled in the form slowly with pain, for example, specify that. If you find writing difficulty, then obviously there is no other way apart from getting somebody else to do it for you. If filling in the form has caused you severe anxiety or stress as well, you need to obviously put that down, and obviously put down, attach any evidence that you may have to support your claim, such as GP, medical records, or a care plan. So all of that is very important. When I say get some help, I do mean it. I really do mean this sincerely. That currently I used the Age UK service because of my age, but that's over 55, I believe. Age UK, but there is Turn to Us, which is a charitable organisation. You can find that on the internet. But there are the CAB as a last resort. I don't know how reliable they are. Find a particular charity for your condition. For example, MS have their own charity, and also, for example, Parkinson's, they have their own charity, and there are people in that group, that organisation, that are actually very good at filling in forms. So find those, contact your particular charity and see if they can help you. If you have a condition but doesn't have a charity, then obviously we're relying on Turn to Us or the CAB for help. And as a last resort, you can obviously have some friend or relative look it over when you've completed it, or help you do it yourself. So obviously be very careful with I know some people who are very vulnerable, who have relatives, for example, who, let's just say, they take the piss and very controlling in their attitudes. So if you have one of those people as a relative, you may not wish to have them help you, because there is a danger that you may not get the correct information on the form. So there we go, that's the video. I hope you found those points useful, and all I can finish with is don't panic, because many people apply for PIP every day, every week, and they are very successful. The odd time that you may find that you haven't given enough information is the time that when you have a refusal or having to go for a reconsideration, a mandatory reconsideration, which is when you don't agree with their decision and you actually tell them, I don't agree with you, and they have to reconsider it. Generally, success rates are quite good. However, when they do say no to the mandatory reconsideration, your only option then is to go for a tribunal, and that can take a little while. But the good news is that 70 odd percent win, 75 or something like 77% of tribunal applications win at tribunal. So it is good news if you do have to go down that route, but obviously it can take a long time. Of course, you're going all that time without any money. So yeah, and if you are applying from DLA and you get a refusal, then the possibility is that you will lose your car. So of course that is not a very good thing to have to suffer. Right, that is the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to join me next video. Bye for now.